Hello guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. Today is Matchup Mondays. We have Asuka Showcase today. I'm going to be explaining how to fight Asuka and also how to play as Asuka. I'm going to give you some cool tips for you to get started with the character. And with me, I have Maya, and she's going to explain a little bit more about this activity.
Hi, thank you so much, Anya. I'm so excited to host this event. This is something that's near and dear to my heart. You know, Tekken 8 has exploded. It's brought me back to the FGC. And kind of one of my big things is I'm a big studier, big lab monster. And the problem I have is there's millions of online tournaments. There's plenty of ways to compete and show you're the best. But one of the biggest problems I have is there's no real way to learn matchups. There's no real way to learn how to beat Hwarong's, relentless offense. There's no way to learn how to deal with all of Dragunov's plus frames unless you're lucky enough to have a local scene or you're lucky enough to have a training partner. So I wanted to create a series where we focused on practicing, learning matchups, not getting hit by some move I don't know, and giving someone tools so that they can go off and lab on their own. So with that, we've created Matchup Mondays, and this is our first episode. And I'm here, like I said, with Anya, one of the best Asuka players I've had the pleasure of playing with. Anya, thank you so much for joining us here and being our first host in the hot seat.
Of course. Hi, Maya. Hello.
Yeah, so we are going to take it through. We're going to start with a few portions, and let me outline it for a few folks here. So we are going to start with an introduction to our host, who's Anya, the Asuka player. We're going to learn about their Tekken journey, some things about them, anything they'd like to promote and tell us about, anything you got going on. And then we're going to talk about the specifics in Tekken. You know, everything from how they warm up, what kind of things are important to them, what they look for in the character. And then after that, we're going to break into the character of today's week. So Asuka is going to be taught by Anya, and we're going to learn all of their moves, your key pokes, what to look out for, punishers, what happens in heat, and of course, ending with one of our favorite things, the combos. You know what you're here for. After we get through the character, we're going to actually open it up to our community. Everyone here is going to be able to play first to two set, depending on the time. If it's a lot of people, we might shorten it. But if we do have some extra time, we might get additional sets in. So I'm really excited for it. And lastly is community questions, our feedback, and Q&As. If you want to ask Anya anything about Asuka, her journey in playing Tekken, or anything in between, we're all ears. So with that, Anya, I believe you can take it away and tell us a little bit about yourself.
Of course. So I've been playing Tekken all my life. I started competing about 12 years ago with Tekken Tag 2. I've always played Asuka, and back then also June competitively. Right now I'm playing Asuka mainly. And yep, I have multiple top placements. I also do coaching, content creation, commentary, etc.
Well, I know it's really important, and I'm going to slow you down and kind of break that down because I'd love to hear more about it. Number one, I know you've said this to me a few times, but when you say the line, you've been playing Tekken since you were a kid. I need to hear more about that.
Oh, well, it's just, I've been playing since I was a toddler. All my family play fighting games, and that's pretty much it. I always had that around me, so I picked up Tekken. Tekken 2 was my first one. I played with June. She was my first main, and I never stopped playing ever since.
I know that one of the first times I caught a video of you, I believe it was at KIT or some kind of tournament. You made it all the way to, I believe, grand finals.
Not at KIT. The only time I went to KIT, I got top 16. But yeah, I've been in several grand finals throughout my career, yes.
Okay, the other thing I had that you said there was that you also do coaching. Can you tell us what that's like?
Yes, so I do coaching on Metafy. You guys can check it out. I mean, the links are right there, but yeah, I do coaching. We can focus on different things if you guys want to try it out. I've done coaching with Maya. She knows my style a little bit more, I guess, but we do sessions. I break down how you can improve. Based on your replays, we play each other. We focus on goals as well, try to reach your goals, whether it's tournament runs or just getting a specific rank, and also, of course, improving and learning new things.
Oh, that was really valuable, and it's a really special skill to have. I know that someone like me, who's been a longtime FGC member, needed a different kind of teaching than my partner, who is a self proclaimed amazing button masher, who also got lessons from you and had learned a completely different approach. And that's a really beautiful skill to have.
Oh, thank you, thank you. I really appreciate it, Maya.
One last question I had before we get into the Tekken questions is do you have anything that you want to promote? Maybe your YouTube, your Twitch, whatever you're up to aside from your Discord?
All of the socials, y'all can just follow me in all of my socials. I do this full time, so all the interactions, likes, shares, etc. It really helps me out, and all of those links are gonna be on the description on the video.
Alrighty. So without further ado, let's get into the Tekken questions. So jumping into Tekken, I think something that's asked from all the people that we've had on our survey forum is kind of a basic one, and I always like to see what every host thinks about it. But starting off, do you have any kind of warm-up or practice routine? Is there anything that you like to do before you either get into a ranked match or
Okay.
maybe a tournament match?
Yes, of course. So ranked, not really, because I personally, this is very personal. I don't take it very seriously, playing ranked. I mostly do it for content. People like to see it, so that's good. But for tournament, it's a little bit more specific. I usually do, well, it's very specific compared to the ranked, right? But I usually do breakdowns of my pool and just tournament run in general, like the routes I could possibly have to make it to, top 16, top 8, top 32, etc. And I just break down my opponent's gameplay and just watch a bunch of their gameplay, try to reinforce the matchup knowledge for those specific characters that I'm very likely to be facing in the tournament run. I make a bunch of notes, and I just try to play a lot of people that play those characters right before the tournament, like a week or two before. Whenever we get the pools, really, because sometimes it's just like a couple days before. And usually I try to always make sure that once I'm there, that the setups are good, because they sometimes can be lagging. And if I realize that some of the setups I might be playing in are laggy, I refuse to play on them. I tell the TO I'm only gonna play on specific setups. And I think that's very important sometimes, because we don't want to play on bad setups. And I also make sure I have my audio and that I'm comfortable, and then just have plenty of water, and make sure I had some food in me before, so we're good to go during the day.
I think that's really important, and I'm going to highlight that actually. Anytime you're in a tournament, whether it's online or in person, whether it be a small local or a big major, if something's off, something's not working, but generally if things just aren't right and you're not, having connection issues, or the other person's on Wi-Fi, I think it's really important to highlight that. Put your controller down, raise your hand, or get into the tournament chat and let your TO know immediately, because you're never going to have an issue and you're never going to get in trouble for stopping a match before it starts and letting everyone go, because it's really a key thing, and I wanted to thank you for that.
Yes, thank you, Maya, thank you.
All right, moving on to one of our other heavily requested questions. Since this is Matchup Monday, I'm going to ask every host, is there, for any particular reason, whether they're top tier, low tier, good or bad, weird, tricky, is there any matchup that you struggle or you find you need to spend more time on?
Yeah, mostly Bear and Leo. Even though I understand, I have a hard time properly reacting, and kind of getting some stuff in my muscle memory. So yeah, I usually have a little bit of a hard time with Bear and Leo, but I've really been focusing on those matchups lately, and I feel like it's gotten a lot better recently. Shout out to Sour Piggy, because he really showed me the Bear matchup a lot better.
I mean, if we're talking about bears we want to give shout outs to, I have to give it to Slade. That dancing bear is wonderful.
I agree.
All right. So now let's get a little bit closer to getting into our demonstration for Asuka. Two last questions, but are more specific to your character. Asuka, why is this character special to you? What made you pick her up? What made you make her your main? And what were your thoughts when you first started learning her?
Well, so I guess it goes back to June. June was very special for me since Tekken 2. Because of her connection with nature, animals, and kind of her pure heart. Because since I was very little, I really did not want to eat animals. Like I've been vegetarian for a very long time, and just like that, like sweetness of June and like her love for animals and nature, like it made me feel very close to her. Um, and yeah, that's why I picked June in the first place. And we didn't have June for a very long time. So when Asuka came out, I decided to pick Asuka because she was a little similar to June. And then with time, I learned to also love and appreciate Asuka for who she is.
Sure, I think any Tekken player, if you played multiple games, you're used to the concept of praying your character stays in or comes back. I'm an anime and still looking for her. Harada, please. But one last question before we get into your breakdown of Asuka. Is there any achievements or any special moments that you've had with Asuka that kind of made her a little more special? Is there anything you're proud of?
Oh my god, I might put like a list of the achievements on screen during this time of the video. There's way too many. But the first time I won a tournament with Asuka, it was like one of the biggest tournaments out here in Mexico. It's actually a Tekken World Tour Challenger event this year, and I won with Asuka in 2017. That was the first time that I won, like kind of like like it was a big moment, and ever since then we've been getting good results. So yeah, it was a very, very special moment for me.
And how many people were entering in that tournament?
Oh
in Mexico?
no, like this like you gotta understand also, like Mexico scene is very small, like 30 some, like that's the most that we ever get. I think it's gonna go insane with Challenger though.
Yeah. And bonus last question for Asuka: do you have a favorite move?
I have a tattoo of back 3 on my wrist.
What, really? Oh
yes.
No, I need to see that sometime.
Yes. Yes.
So back 3, which is of course a little different from June's, but it's all in the family of the Kazama clan, as we say.
Yes.
But yeah, without further ado, thank you for answering those questions. Let's kind of get into it on Asuka. Now I have some notes here, and I believe we have practice mode queued up with our lovely assistant El Joro.
Yeah, that's right. And yeah, we have number 1, the plus on block moves.
Yeah, so without further ado, take it away. I'm going to be letting some of our community members know some notes. For example, when we get down to punishers, I'm going to post the positive and negative frames for that, so you get used to seeing those punishers on you, and sometimes if they miss or get blocked, you might have some opportunities to go back.
That's right, Maya, thank you very much. So we're gonna start with the plus on block moves. I'm gonna explain this in how to use them as Asuka, and also how you deal with it, which is basically just don't press because she's plus. So every single thing that I covered today, I'm gonna tell you how to use it as Asuka, and also how to deal with it, right? So number 1 plus on block move that is gonna be super useful is 441. 441 is +5, so you just use it like that. It can be a little bit linear, so if you could walk a little bit, if you start walking, so it can, yes, it does drag a little bit, but it can, it can whiff like that, and it has a very slow whiff animation, so you can whiff punish right like that. So if she ever whiffs it, you should whiff punish. You have a lot of time because of the very slow and sad animation that she has when she whiffs it. So the other thing you want to do as Asuka is that if you actually connect this, you're gonna get a move guaranteed. So you have 14 frames. You would usually go for the heat engager, which is down back 1 2. It's gonna look like that. Okay, there we go. It's gonna look like that, and then you can do a mix-up, you get some plus frames, or you can do the other option, which is down back 1 4, in case you don't want to go into the heat engager. Those are your options right there, and it's something very good to do. If you get this at the wall, it's also a wall splat and a wall combo for you. So yeah, if you're fighting Asuka, just make sure that you punish the whiff, and that you don't press if she's +5, right? Or if you press, it's because you have the best read in the world and you already know you're gonna crush her. And other than that, the next plus on block move is 4-4. She's only +3 here. It's a little bit easier to challenge, but if she does it on heat, she gets a little combo there. So for Asuka users, if you're doing this, this is a tracking move. So it's gonna track your opponent if they're moving to the sides. And yes, they're gonna trap them, and you get a little combo there with the 1+4 pickup, and you can do your combo extension. And if you're fighting Asuka, you wanna understand that she is +3. So if you press, you gotta have a good read as well. Now the next move that we're gonna do plus on block. Let me figure out to get to the wall. Restart settings, yes. Player status, no. Restart position, wall. Yeah, so this is more of a little bit of a wall moment and a wall situation. She's gonna be super plus with this one. It's down back 1+2. You want to do it at the wall. It guarantees you a mix-up. It's +25, but that doesn't mean that she can do a 25 frame move and launch you. No. But she is extremely plus, so she can get a mix-up. What you want to do as Asuka, if you happen to land this at the wall, specifically at the wall, because what happens if she's not at the wall, she's gonna really do a lot of pushback. Let's see it. See, so she's really gonna do a lot of pushback. So we mainly want to use this at the wall. So once you get that at the wall, you get a mix-up, which is gonna be 4-4-1. So if the person ducks, for example, after they block the thing and then they duck right there, you get the hit confirm, the follow-up, and all the damage and everything. Or the other thing that you could do with this is just a down 1+2. It's a 50-50. They can get out of it. But if you become very predictable, this move is way too linear. So okay, they can power crush you as well. It's very slow, so that's the other thing. It's very slow. Keep that in mind. But also because it's very linear, so they can sidewalk, right? So they can walk you, and they can launch you. So it's an Asuka, somebody fighting Asuka. You guys also want to remember that you can walk to the sides if you know this is coming, right? So yeah, this is also a low parry. It's a very awkward low parry. Yeah, that's the animation we're gonna get. Yes, I mean, you can also do it like, just randomly in the middle of the stage if you really think you're gonna catch the timing for a low parry. It's the launcher actually. Let me set that up so there's no wall and we can show you how it looks if we catch a low here. Oh my god, we're not getting the timing right. No, this is not working out. Yeah, we gotta do it at the right moment. Nope, it's actually very difficult to time. Like, I would suggest like you only use it if you have the timing right for for the move.
As I see it, you need to get it.
It's a very awkward low parry.
You need to get it in the last few frames of the
yes,
animation.
exactly.
Usually counterintuitive to most, counters or moves where it's
yes,
but
it does become a launcher if you happen to grab anything. You mostly want to use this as plus frames at the wall, and just make sure that you are kind of like very well positioned and just following your opponent, like you're in front of them. Because if you're slightly like off axis, like you may just whiff like out of nowhere, so we don't want that, right? The last plus on block move is this one. It's the running 1+2. It's also a tracking move, but it's a high. So if they duck, if you just stand there and it's coming and you duck, you're gonna launch it. You can just duck and launch. If you know it's coming, duck and launch like that. But yeah, it's plus. If you just block it, she's gonna be +4. If she has, we're gonna cover the install a little bit later, but I just wanna also show you guys that if she has the install, the Niwa Gusto, which I will explain in detail later, this is gonna be +6 instead of +4, so it adds a little bit more plus frames, and the install is also gonna add more plus frames in other moves that I'll show you a little bit later. But those are the most common plus on block moves that she has. So yeah, Maya, I don't know if you want to add anything here, questions, I don't know.
Oh, that's lovely. You actually got the one question I've got already, which was what you're going to cover later, which is what the hell is Nani wa Gusto?
Yes, okay. Yes, we will cover the Naniwa Gusto install, yes.
But I do see pokes and strings next on the
Yes.
list.
Yes, of course, pokes and strings. So, I think the most common strings are the jab strings. So she has 1, 2, which is her 10 frame punisher as well. If you actually connect that, it's +6. So it's good for a 10 frame punisher. You can also do 1, 3, which is also another poke and also a 10 frame punisher. She has 2 this time. I would say this jab strings are a little bit more useful to close out the rounds, because most people will know that it's a high mid or high low and they're expecting that mix up. So you can kind of catch them like trying to just low parry, or you know, they duck because they want to block the low. So it's very useful to do that. But something important to note here on the jab strings, like 1, 2, 1, 1, 1, 3, is that, for example, 1, 2 is -8 on block. 1, 1 is -7, and 1, 1, 3 is -5. So she's basically giving you her turn away if you just block the strings, right? And the other thing is also that they are kind of linear. You don't want to really do this if you're super close, because you might get clipped. But if you have enough space and she starts doing it like kind of like at a mid distance, you can start walking. And yeah, you can get a punish right there. If you see that right there, she is very linear with those strings. So you got to keep in mind that if she's just mashing the strings, you can start trying to walk a little bit, and you're very likely to catch a whiff. So yeah, those strings are kind of linear. And then pokes, other like pokes that are not strings. Most common ones are down back 3 for the low. It's an unseeable low, +4 on hit and -12 on block. So that's how you would punish it, with just standing 4 probably, or if you have something better, please do so, but I don't. Down back 4 is also similar. She can get it out of back 4 too, which can also be a mix-up, and with back 4 she's ducking. She can stay ducking here with back 4 too. So you can do a mix-up, right, if you're ducking there. The lows, yeah, I think this is the best one, honestly. She also has the down wobbles too, and yeah, like she can get that from down wobbles too. Down wobbles 2 is 20 frames now, which is a big buff. It used to be a lot slower. Some people used to be like really able to see it.
Yeah, we have one question coming in, which is from Tricky, which was with the 10 and the 12 frame strings, specifically the jab strings. Is that something that can be fuzzy ducked? Is there any tricks to getting through those?
The 10 and the 12, you mean like this one as well? The 2, 1?
Yes, like the 1, 2, the 1, 3, and the 2, 3.
1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 1, and 1, 3. Those ones? Like 1, 1, 1, 3, 1, 2. I don't think so. Like, you just kind of really have to guess. If at a distance, like, you can just backdash and try to make her whiff if she just keeps doing it. But like, if in a situation where you're cornered, and she can just do that as a mix-up, really. Like, if you're a corner, you have nowhere to go, you have no space, you just have to guess there. If you have a parry, you can try to parry, if you think the mid is coming, but I can't think of like any other way to deal with it in that situation specifically. But yeah, like, keep in mind that they're linear and that she's likely to whiff if she's just doing it from far away.
I'm sure that question will come up a lot too when we get into the strings portion.
Yeah.
Which one should we be practicing to fuzzy?
Yes. So other strings that she has, for example, the 1, 2 has a follow-up, 1, 2, 4, which is -12. So yeah, keep that one in mind. It's not as common, but sometimes people will do it, and yes, you can punish it like that with 12 frame punisher. A super common string that I was actually not gonna mention, but I thought that you guys, if you're gonna see it a lot, if the players are like barely starting. This is something that people really like to mash with Asuka, which is not good, but a lot of people will do it, and we should deal with it either way. It's down back 4-3, and we can duck the second one and launch it. Down back 4-3 is duckable, and we launch. So keep that one in mind, very important. If it's counter hit, you cannot duck anymore, it's guaranteed, but it's too risky. It's kind of like, I can only launch if it's counter hit, and if not, you're gonna launch me. So it's tricky. Could be used as a setup maybe if you're sure it's gonna be a counter hit, but yeah, it's kind of odd there. Others pokes that she has, down 4-1, of course. It's like a standard down 4-1. It's -3 on block, and she has 2 follow-ups. The first one is down 4-1-4, which is -12, and the second one is down 4-1-2, which is a high and can be duck and launch. But it's a mix-up, of course. Gotta be careful. Me personally, I would never duck, not once in my life, and I would just block them in. And if we get the counter hit, it's gonna be that animation, which also breaks the floor. So if you're mashing in the middle of it, don't, because you can get counter hit by both. And this one is actually a launcher. This one is a launcher, so you gotta be careful with that string. But really, if you just stand still, nothing is gonna happen, and you get to punish one of the 2 options. And the other one is a little minus on block, so you get your turn back. So that's what I would do, just block always. If you really feel like clutching the ducking the high, if you really feel like the high is coming, go for it 100%. She has a lot of strings. Oh my god. Another one is back 4, yes, back 4-1-4, which is also, it's -13, this one. She can just do 2, of course. She can cancel it. We will cover cancels a little bit later. But yeah, those are some of her most common strings. Oh, one more that they also do a lot. Back 4-2, back 4-2-3, and it's launch punishable, -16. Back 4-2-3. She can just not finish it. For example, she can just do back 4 and save. She can do back 4-2, which is gonna be -12, and you can punish. But know that if you want to punish the 12, and you know the second hit that is -12, and you just press and she finishes the string, you're gonna get hit. But it's okay, because it doesn't really do anything, but just it knocks you down. But at the wall it will wall splat, just so y'all know. So it's a little tricky. I think those are her most common strings. I mean, she has a little bit more, but yeah, I don't know if y'all have questions right now, or Maya, if you want to add anything.
Yeah, no. We have 2 wonderful questions, and I think it's important because this video is for people of all skill levels.
Yes.
So this is a really beautiful analytical breakdown, but coming from one of our askers, Setsu, kind of the Cliff Notes version, because they're still in a learning phase. They're not going to retain every single piece of the matchup and frame data. But if you were to give one piece of advice, or if there was one thing that they should keep in mind if they're going against an Asuka for the first time, what should they really keep a lookout for? What are the key things to be sure of when you don't know all of her moves?
When you don't know all of her moves, I would say the things that she mashes the most. I was going to include this one on the launchers, but my favorite move that I mentioned earlier, if you can launch this, you're gonna scare a lot of Asuka players. So back 3 is -19. If you're looking for one move to scare an Asuka player, if you keep launching that consistently, they're gonna be scared. So if you want to remember one, that's the one. Another one that's also gonna be frustrating if you punish is side step 2. -13, that used to be safe, and we love to mash that. We really love to mash that. So those 2 things are super key. And I would also add that Asuka players, we often whiff a lot, and I say we because I do too. So if you're good at whiff punishing, and you just wait her out, that's a very good tool and a very good way to approach the matchup.
Yeah, that's wonderful and really helpful. I do have one more question, but we'll get to that after you start your next section.
Okay, perfect. So the next section is, yeah, so the next section was actually the key moves that are not necessarily pokes or strings. And yes, I was gonna mention the back three, which we already covered, the side step two as well, and then the third one that we also love to mash is can can. Can can is launch punishable if you duck it, but you have to duck the first one. If you don't duck at all, uh, uh, if you don't duck at all, if you just block normally, or if you block by holding back, it's gonna be -8. If you block by holding back, it's gonna be -8. So that's okay, you take your turn back, nothing happens, but this is a very good low crusher. So if you're just doing lows, she's gonna crush you, and then sometimes she's gonna crush your grab, and sometimes she's gonna crush your high. So yeah, be careful with that one. You can just duck. You can just, if you know it's coming, you can just duck and launch. But you gotta know it's coming. If not, she's still -8. But yeah, it's a tricky move to deal with. And they nerfed it a little bit. Used to be -6, now it's -8. So that's good for y'all. If y'all are fighting Oscar, if you are Oscar, then you want to use this to crush lows and just to crush people and annoy them. Same as back 3, also very good to crush lows. And you can kind of use it as a keep it as well. That's how I like to use it. So if people are coming in, they're rushing to you, they just want to, hit you. You can just, they're running, they're just mindlessly running. You just back 3 them sometimes. You can also use down 4-4, and that's also one of the pokes. I didn't mention that one, but that's a very good poke, down 4-4. As a keep out as well, it is linear. However, but if you keep realigning yourself to people, which you should be trying to do as Asuka, because she does get very linear, you can down 4-4 and back 3 for keep out. Those are like 2 of my favorite ones to do. Or up 4-3, which is also one of the other moves. Up 4-3 is also one of the key moves. It's a very good counter hit. Yeah, we just get a big combo here. If you do get that, etc. I'll show you some of the combos later. So yeah, those are 3 of my favorite keep outs. Back 3, up 4-3, and down 4-4. Super good tools. Besides from that, we do have 2 strings that are hit confirmable, which is down back 1-2. Down back 1-2. So if you see the first one hits, you just hit confirm with the second one and you get the heat engager. Or if you already have the heat, you get an extra hit. So yeah, hit confirmable. It's hard. You have to practice a lot. But if you get a handle of it, you can hit confirm that move. The other hit confirmable string is 1-3, 3-1, 3-1, 3-1. So yeah, if you get the kick, you can do the punch. Now, how do you deal with this? It's -11, so whatever 10 frame punisher move you have, or 11 if you have one, you can go ahead and punish her there. If she's looking to hit confirm the down back 1-2, the second hit is a high, and you can duck and launch. So yeah, we can duck and launch right there, but now they added a mix-up, which is that. It's a down back 1-4. So if you think she's gonna do that one, I would personally never duck, just like the other one. But if you block this, it's launch punishable. It's what is it, -16, 15, -15 exactly. So yeah, you can launch that, or most characters can launch it. June cannot launch it. You can launch that if you block it, or if you know they're fishing for the hit confirm, the down back 1-2, then you duck and launch. Now the other important moves, I would say this is like a very good mix-up, is 1+2, 16 frame launcher. So right there, you get your combo. It's fast. It's decently fast. And the other one is down 1+2, which I showed you a little bit earlier. So if you're in a mix-up situation, let's say, for example, you get plus frames and you're plus, you can do 1+2 or down 1+2, and it's a good mix-up. Besides from those 2, I have 2 more moves. So the Power Crush for her is just forward 1+2, which is the high. It comes out in 15 frames. If you play Asuka, if sometimes you're having a very hard time to reach a move that is punishable, you see like, oh, this move is -20, but it's on the other side of the screen because the pushback is insane. Sometimes this is your go-to. If you can reach a certain move, you can just punish with with forward 1+2 power crush, and it's also a good power crush. Just keep in mind that lows are gonna beat it, and also it's a high so people can duck and launch. Another key move that we love to use a lot, even on wake up, we just smash it sometimes, is while standing 3. So while standing 3 should be launch punchable depending on who you are or what character you play, right? But sometimes you don't reach, so yeah, that's what's gonna happen sometimes. You're like, you don't reach, so yeah, for example here Asuka can punch with power crush, or she can also punish herself, her own while standing 3 with up forward 2. Right there, oh sorry, right there, up forward 2 is a good option. Just check what you have, because remember it does have some pushback, so sometimes your character's not gonna reach. How are you looking to use it as Oscar? As a punisher? You know, anything that staggers, you can launch it. Yeah, exactly, just like that. You block a snake itch, you can use it as a punisher. And sometimes you can just trick your opponent. Let's say you're ducking here, and you know, they think you might do a low, and you just go for the mid, and you just launch them. Or on wake up, you can just mash it and see if they run into it. I mean, just try it. If it doesn't work, then maybe don't keep trying it, because it's very punishable. But yeah, that's I have one more string for y'all, and I have the cancels for y'all. I hope I'm not boring y'all or confusing y'all. I'm gonna let Maya, you know, if you want to ask me more questions before we move on to the forward strings and the cancels.
Yeah, we had one great question.
Okay,
I
okay.
just wanted to give it some time, which was from Nagari, which was, what kind of decisions, or how should you make an adjustment when you're specifically backed into a corner and under pressure? How do you change your gameplay with Asuka or against an Asuka?
How do you change your gameplay with Asuka or against an Asuka? Okay, so in both situations. All right, if you're in a corner, so I'm gonna be real and completely honest with you. At the wall, me personally, I just time my can right. Like I keep it like a goldfish mindset, and I just have like very few ways to get out of the wall, which might be side step 2, which might be walking, which might be power crushing, which might be can. Majority of the times it's gonna be can. Why? Because I have the belief that if you time it right, if you wait for the precise moment, even if they're waiting for it, they're eventually gonna stop waiting for it. So you just you just get a very good timing and you land it and you get out of the wall like that. It's a good way to get out of the wall. But to be a little bit more safe, I would just say just start repositioning yourself with small pokes. Like make sure they're not really pressuring you. You can do like, you know, a jab, start walking a little bit, just start getting, even with a grab, that's always a good way to get out of the wall. Even if they break it, for example, I think it's, oh sorry, it's not the same input anymore. Some grabs are like really gonna move your opponent, even if they break the grab. So you gotta make sure you're trying them out, you know, and see if you can get out of the wall that way. But and if you're fighting Asuka at the wall, you don't want to be there. You don't want to be there, and you should try try your best to get out of there, depending on the character that you're using. But you should be expecting like a lot of down 1+2 mix-ups, 1+2 mix-ups, power crush. If you time right a power crush, you can get out of the wall against Asuka. But you gotta be really careful, really mindful, and it's basically gonna be the same. Like just find what moves work for you, how your opponent is playing. I think that's very, very important, because you know some people are never gonna react to a certain thing. Like some people you can get out of the wall with like a snake edge, right? So it's very important that you guys are also mindful of how your opponent plays and what tools they have available.
You perfectly described how to take your game to the next level, which is the concept of delayed or beat timing. A lot of us, especially when we're learning the game or we're in that mid-level, we just keep swinging back and forth. And sometimes when you get someone under pressure and it's your turn and you do nothing, that's the best thing that you could do.
Yes, I feel that, Maya. Do you have any more questions, or should I proceed with the I just have like just 3 more strings, which is just a variation of the same one, and some cancels.
All our questions so far, feel free to
Okay, perfect. So, the next thing I have for y'all are gonna see this quite a bit. It's just the 442 strings. It's three variations that she has from it, and it's 442, and then she can do three, which is -8. So you shouldn't be afraid. If you have a kick parry, you have time to do it. She does have a kick parry. It's a back 2+3, back 2+3. There you go. You can get a kick parry and launcher. I'm gonna explain those Savaki parries a little bit later. Or if you have a general parry, I think she should be able to grab it as well. Yeah, there you go. If you have a generic parry, you can grab it, and you can grab the other option that she has right there as well, with the general parry. But she does have one shoulder option, so that is 4-4-2-3, 4-4-2-1, which also is -13, and it gives her the install. So some Asukas are desperately trying to get that sometimes, so watch out for it. 4-4-2-3. I'm sorry, 2-1 is it's not 2-1. It's 2-1 plus 2. Okay, so again, so just to be clear, 4-4-2-3 is that one. 4-4-2-1 plus 2 is that one, -13. And then the last one, now that one is 4-4-2-1, which is a high. So it's kind of like a rough mix-up. I would just block. Nothing is gonna hit you if you just block. If you're gonna be fine if you just block. If you're really fishing for this, one way to kind of like know if they're gonna do it is if they're kind of like desperate for damage, and this basically becomes a natural. It's a natural string, so it's gonna hit you basically if it hits you. Other than that, you can really just block. Just block, don't do anything. That's what I would do. Just block, and you either take the plus frames, because she's -5 with this one. She does do a lot of pushback, so you either take the plus frames for +5 right there, +8 for the kick, and she's actually punishable with that option. So personally, I would just block. If you really have the feeling that she's gonna do the high because she's desperate for damage, then duck and launch. And then the last thing that I was going to explain on the key moves is the cancels. She does have a couple cancels that can be very useful for getting close to the opponent, and also doing mix-ups, right? So for example, you can cancel forward 2. You just hold down. So her forward 2 is one of her very good whiff punisher tools. So if you whiff, something there, she can forward to you. But it's just like, oh my god, never mind. I don't think I can get this whiff punish anymore. I miscalculated. She can just down and cancel. And that's going to leave her crouching and way closer to you. So if you are here crouching, you can do a bunch of mix-ups. For example, you can do down 1+2 from crouching. You can do her command grab that launches. Down back 1+2. You can also do while standing 3 if you want to be a bit more risky, if you think they're gonna duck in front of you, and anything you want to do really. Down, you can do down forward 2, which in counter hit. Not that. I haven't used that setup in a while. Okay, so you can do while crouching down forward 2, which guarantees while standing 1-4. Into 4-3 3+4, which gives you the install. But yeah, that's just like the basic, the very basic mix-ups that you can do when you're crouching right there in front of your opponent. And a good way to access that crouching in front, like getting close to them, is forward 2 cancel, and the other cancels as well, which is back 1 down. You can, if you finish the move, it's gonna look a little bit like this. Just gonna do a little low. If you block this one, if you block, yes, if you block, it's now -10. It used to not be punishable at all, but now it's -10. If you have a 10 frame punisher, you're lucky. June can probably punish this. But you can also just cancel it and do mix-ups. I would suggest that if you guys get used to Asuka's cancel things, oh my god, my controller is messing up. I'm sorry. She's ducking and I'm not ducking. Let me just get that back in there. Okay, we're back. Okay. You can try to stop her. Like if you have a quick mid that while she's in the animation, she's not really blocking when she's canceling things. So just check her. You don't really have to let her do it. It can be risky because you know, a counter hit could happen if you're not on point with it. But if you're fighting Asuka, try to not let her do a lot of cancels. Just try to do a quick mid to get her out of it. Oh no, this controller is really ducking for me. What other cancels do we have? Ooh, back 4. Oh no. The other cancel that I was missing is back 4, back 2-1. Back 2-1. She can just cancel and go down there. And yeah, I think that's most of them. Okay, Snake Edge as well, 3+4 down back. And yeah, you can just, you know, do your whole mix-up game from there and just punch her out of it if you're fighting her, like with a mid. Just be careful with it. But yeah, that's that. Maya, I don't know if you want to do a quick intervention.
No, I love it. So I would say you went part, which is the key move.
Maya, I'm having a hard time hearing you. You're breaking off.
Sorry? How about now?
Yeah, that's a bit better.
Yeah. So I really like the key move. Most important thing. If anything, I would say let's see if we can speed up the last parts of the section.
Yes.
I know we went to some of our matches, but feel free to take it away.
Yes, okay, perfect. So I'm going to try to do everything back to back, the last parts. So I'm going to explain the parries right quick. If you are Asuka, you probably noticed she has a parry. So regular grab plus back. So you can do 2+4 back, and she does a parry. This only grabs feet and punches. No knees, no shoulders, no headbutts, nothing like that. Just feet, like kicks and punches, regular feet and punches. And she also has Sabaki parries. Oh, you can also grab her out of it now. She can outbreak throws in this, so it's gonna be a counter hit. So if you're fighting Asuka, you can just grab her. If you're not sure about the Punisher, you can do a low during the animation, or you can wait for the animation to be over and she can outblock. So right when she's putting her hands down, she is not able to block, so you can punch her. The other parries that she has is the Sabaki parries. She has one only for punches, and that's forward +2+3. It looks like that. So she grabs punches. You just have to time it right. Oh, that's not it. That's the grab. It's very similar input. We traded, but if you guys time it right, especially like in for example, against Steve, if you time that right, she's gonna get a launcher from that, and then the same thing happens with the kick Sabaki, which we showed you guys earlier. I'm gonna do a string so they can grab the feet on the second one. It's the same thing, but you just do back. So you do back 2+3, and she can grab the feet. So that can get useful once you start learning more matchups, and you're like, I know this string, I know a kick is coming, and I know I can do my punch Sabaki or my kick Sabaki. So yeah, those are the parries that she has. Now her punishers, super quick. I'm just gonna recite this. So 10 frame, 1-2, -8 if she doesn't get it, and 1-3. You can low parry the little low if she doesn't get it, if you're fighting her. You know, I'm talking in case she mistimes it. So if as an Asuka player, maybe they try to punish something that is not punishable, so we don't get it. Then you're looking for either the plus frames or the low parry, right? Then 11 is just her 4. Nothing special, just a very generic 4. She does have a small magic 4, which is just magic 4, you know, counter hit 4 into forward 3+4. Then her 12 frame punish is 2-3. That's it. You just punish. It reaches kind of far. It also wall splats. And if you're fighting Asuka, you're really hoping that they just throw it out or that she misses her chance, because this is launch punchable. It's -17. So if you're fighting Asuka, remember to launch her 12 frame punisher. Very risky to just throw out there. Then she has 2 14 frame punishers, which is down back 1-4, or she can do up 4-4, up 4-2, I'm sorry, and that reaches pretty far and breaks the floor. So if she just does it like we showed you guys earlier, you can duck the second one for the down back 1-4, and I'm sorry, down back 1-2. You can duck it. That's the high option, but she does have down back 1-4, which is launch punishable, -15. And yeah, the up 4-2 is the high. So if they're just smashing it and it's not really a punish, and you know the Asuka player just keeps just smashing it, they're just doing it for no reason, you guys can duck and launch. If you really have the read on that high, because it's just one hit. So super fast. We were at 14 frames. The next one is 15 frames. Just generic down 4-2. It's not punchable if you block it. It's just minus. It's just minus if you block it. It's -6. Then she has forward 2, which is 18 frames. Those are her main like standing punishers. And just to finish up right quick, the standing punishers, while standing 4, just a very generic while standing 4, 11 frames. The next one is while standing 2-1, which is the 13 frame. And if you actually do it as a punisher, you get the mix-up, right? Like it kind of goes into the throw, into the 50-50 throw. After 13, she has 14, which is while standing 1-4. 14 frame while standing punisher. One thing to note here is that the second hit is a high, so you can duck and launch if she misses it. While standing 1-4, duck and launch. And then this is one of the sad things about Asuka. She doesn't have a 15 or even 16 frame while standing launcher. She has 18 frame launcher, which is while standing 3. So yeah, it's a little, you know, a little slow for a while standing launcher, but we take it. So yeah, those are all the punishers, and of course you punish it, right? It's -16. We covered that earlier. Grabs, super quick. She only has, so this is something I always try to remind people when you're fighting Asuka. She doesn't have a 1 break. She only has a 2 break and a 1+2 break and the generic grabs. So you never ever have to press 1. If you're fighting Asuka and she's doing a throw, don't press 1 because it's not necessary. You gotta press 2. So if you see 1 hand, you're gonna press 2. This is her 2 grab. You gotta mash 2. It's gonna look like that if she grabs you. The input is down forward 2+3. So if you see 1 hand, it doesn't matter if it looks like that or if it looks like this or if it looks like that as well. You just mash 2. Just mash 2 and you're gonna break it like that, okay? And the other grabs that she has is the up forward 1+2, which is a 1+2 break. It's gonna look like that if she grabs you. You break it, it's gonna look like that. And then she has another 1+2 grab, which is while crouching. Down back 1+2, which is the launcher. You can get a whole combo out of it. But if you just see the 2 hands, she has to be crouching. It's kind of like, it can become obvious if you're really looking for it. So you just smash 1+2 and you break it. One last thing that is very peculiar about her grabs, you can do forward and then generic grab, forward 2+4. And she basically gets a mix-up. She can do 2. Or she can do 1. So if they get hit with it, the 2 becomes a heat engager, and the 4, oh sorry, let me do it again, and the 4 guarantees forward 2. So if she grabs you, if you're already in a situation where she already grabbed you with the plus frame grab, that is basically a 50-50. There's nothing you can do. If you mash something, she's just gonna hit you. You have to get a read on it. If you block the mid, she's minus. It's not punishable, but she's very minus. And if you block the low, you can launch. It's -18, so you can launch that. So yeah, that's her throw game. Super quick hit system. Oh my god, I'll do this as quick as possible. I'll just do the most important things. Hit system, heat engagers. Down 2. Down 2 is gonna be a heat engager. Down back 1-2 is also heat engager. Side step 2, my favorite one, heat engager. Power crush, forward 1+2, heat engager. And also this thing. Oh my god, I'm not doing it right. uh, Once you get this, you do 2, and then that becomes a heat engager. So you get the plus frame grab, which you can also get from her 13 frame Punisher, and you get a heat engager. And there you go, you get a launcher and everything. So yeah, the heat engagers, side step 2 is the launcher. So you get the heat, and then you do side step 2, and it's a launcher. And Power Crush is only gonna guarantee you the 4-3+4, like that. And down back 1-2 is also only guarantee you the 4-3+4. There we go. And down 2. That one is also a launcher, so you can do whatever you want there. If you're fighting Asuka, you just wanna, you know, punish side step 2. Down 2, it doesn't really, you know, just -4 if you just block it. The Power Crush is also minus if you just block it. You're now super quick. The install, oh my god, the install. Install is just gonna give you some plus frames. I'll show you how to activate it. You can activate it with forward 3+4. I have a whole video on this separately as well. I'm gonna link it on the comments for the video, and I can also share it with y'all if you're here live. But you can get it with forward 3+4. You can get it with forward 2. Of course, I wouldn't recommend that you just do a launcher and you drop it. So a good way to get it if you're Asuka is down 1+2 into forward 2, or as Oki, you know, if they're on the floor, you just forward 2 them if they let you, and you get the install. Another way to get it is via combo, or you know, this is like one of the ways that you can get it in the combo. For forward 2, 1+2, you get it like that. And those are the main ways that you can get the New Augusto.
Yeah,
what does
we
it
have
do?
the video posted in chat just so people can follow along your user guide.
Thank you, Maya. So yeah, what we can do with the Naniwa Gusto is just get some plus frames. So +6, this was originally +4. With Naniwa Gusto, it becomes +6. And 4 forward, 1+2 is -6. If you have Naniwa, it's gonna be +2. And the other thing, this is super like abbreviated kind of. But the other thing that's important with the Naniwa Gusto, if you play Asuka, once you have it, you get a combo extension. Oh, my controller is messing up. Okay, there we go. You can get a combo extension up 1+2 into forward 3+4. It gets you a little bit more damage on your combos. And she gets it back once you finish with the combo. So that's pretty cool. And now this is gonna be super fast. Last part, the launchers and bread and butter combos. I think I show you guys most of the common launchers, you know, down 4-2, 1+2, back 3, can. You can do 4-4-4 for example as well if you want to reach a little bit further. Forward 2 as a whiff punisher. Those are kind of like the main launchers that you're looking for. And now I'm gonna show you just 2 combos. If you're playing Asuka and you want to do something that's not too hard to do, but that's decent damage, and you can also get the install. These are the 2 routes that I would recommend. It doesn't mean that this is the max damage you could possibly get ever, but this is pretty decent damage, and it's not that hard to do. So if you get any of these launchers, like 1+2, down 4-2, can, except back 3, you can do 4 forward, 2-3, down back 1-4, 4 forward, 4 into 4 forward 2, 1+2. So I'm gonna do that one more time, and we'll probably have notations on the actual video. It's gonna look like that. We go for the spin, 4-4-4, and we just get the install right there. It was a little far, but that's kind of like the generic filler without the wall that we want to do. If you guys happen to get the wall, something super easy to do is just 1+4, 2-4, which is 4-ring Sergius mid. That's kind of what you want to go for at the wall. You know, if we get a high splat, we might have to do a tornado, etc. But that's just like, you know, good damage and not too much effort for it. Now, there's some other launchers that you might need to do a different combo. For example, back three, which is I would recommend the back 3-4-3, and then 2-1-1+2, and then you can still get this. It's gonna be a little bit harder. So if you don't want to go for that, you can just do 1-1+2, 4-4-2-1, and you still get the install. Now the other variation here would be maybe if you want to do a little bit more wall carry, let's say. So after any of your spins, after you do the tornado, you can just do the down back 4-3 for a little bit more wall carry if you're close to the wall. And that's like your super, super, super basic, not too optimal, but still decent Asuka bread and butter combos and launchers. And that's all I have right now with our time concerns. So Maya, if you wanna follow up, or if you guys have any questions, you can also type them in chat. Maya, you're muted. I'm not sure if you know.
Yeah.
Okay,
no, I
you're
was
back.
just letting you take it. I love it. You know, it's the nice palette cleanser when we finish off our Asuka demonstration with just a good combo install, and we learn everything that you can to get a little bit of damage.